What is up, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of ATG with Ghost Pepper. I'm your host, Ghost Pepper. And so today, we're going to be talking a little bit about, how should I put it, Kamala Harris and how wonderful she's doing with the border and how awesome our media is treating her with the issues that we're having down at the southern border right now. So we're going to go through. She did an interview with Lester Holt on NBC. She may have made a big flub, and I want to see if y'all can spot it. Let's just go. We're going to go ahead and we're going to watch the video and kind of see
President Harris in Mexico meeting
what
with
she
the
did.
Mexican president.
You can't say you care about the border without caring about the root causes.
Part of her first foreign trip, targeting the root causes of the record migrant surge. I spoke to her last night in Guatemala.
You had a message for would-be migrants. Don't come.
Do not come. Do not come.
The notion that the border is closed.
Okay. So again, she says this, but at the same point, the Biden administration is doing nothing to deter people right now from the southern border. All they're doing is allowing people to come in unchecked, unfeathered, and they've resorted back to their policy of catching and releasing. They're not doing anything. At least when Trump was in charge of the border, he was making efforts to stop and not stop people from coming in, but stop people, incentivizing people from coming in illegally. And that's the main thing is, we would love to be able to take everybody in America. We would love to have everybody who wants to come in to be able to come in, but our economics can't handle it. Our housing, our, everything else, it cannot handle the amount of people that are flooding into our country right now. And we have to be able to vet, and we have to be able to, taper off the amount of people coming in at one time in order to provide everybody with a good standard of living. Otherwise, it's just going to devolve into basically what it's devolving into right now, which is you have thousands of people in detention camps right now in horrible living conditions, and the Biden administration is not doing anything. And Kamala Harris, she was put in charge of this like 79 days ago, and she has done absolutely nothing to help this problem that we have right now. And all they want to do is blame the previous administration for all the issues that they're having to deal with, when really it's their rhetoric, it's their policies that are giving these people hope to be able to come in here. And if they get in, then they won't be deported. So we're going to go back into it. I think I went a little too far. Where'd I go?
The border is closed. Why should they believe you when they know that people are getting in?
Well, Lester, here's the thing. I've been working on this issue for a very long time. And the kind of...
So again, she says that she's been working on it for a very long time, and she hasn't been working on it for a very long time. It's been 3 months at the most that she's been working on this, and she has done absolutely nothing.
Violence and danger that is associated with that trek, especially when we're talking about from Guatemala through Mexico to the United States. It's extremely dangerous. And the reason that I am in Guatemala is to address the reasons people leave home, flee.
Okay, so a lot of the reasons that people are leaving is because they know if they make it to the United States, then they will be granted amnesty under your laws and your provisions to be able to stay in the United States. You're not doing anything to deter people from coming in illegally.
Knowing that the people who are here for generations, or if we know the history of Guatemala for centuries, they want to stay. They don't want to leave, but they need opportunity. They need assistance. They need support.
But Americans don't see
we have the ability to give them that.
Yeah, Americans.
So I agree with her in the sense that, in these countries where people are fleeing from to come to the United States, there has to be more incentive for all these people to want to stay in their countries. And right now, as it stands, the countries that people are fleeing from, they're not as great. They're not as economically prosperous. They're not as liberty intensive as the United States is. So I understand people wanting to come to the United States. The United States is one of the greatest countries in the world. You know, in my opinion, it's the best country in the world to be able to live in and be able to prosper in. So I understand the need of, or the want of these people wanting to come in. And you know, through a legal process, I'm perfectly fine with it. I would love to have more culturally diverse people in our country, in our state of Texas, you know, but there has to be law and order to it, because if we do not have proper borders, if we do not have a country and we do not have laws that we follow, then the United States then loses the whole point of why these people want to come here. The whole point is because they want to be able to come and enjoy the American dream. And without the borders of America, there is no American dream. There is no America. So we got to get back into this of, you know, we need to make it easier for people to be able to come in legally. We need to fix our laws that are already on our books to make citizenship easier to obtain for people. But at the same point, we have to secure our borders and stop these people from coming in illegally and taking part in the country that they're not actually taking part in. All right, so we're going to get back into it. So here we go.
Don't see a lot of that on a daily basis. What they do see at their own border, children being lowered over fences, children coming in.
This is the reality of what we're seeing down here on the southern border.
The question has come up, and you heard it here, and you'll hear it again, I'm sure. It's why not visit the border? Why not see what Americans
Here's
are
the question
in this crisis?
Well, we are going to the border. We have to deal with what's happening at the border. There's no question about that. That's not a debatable point. But
so what do we do?
Understand that there's a reason people are arriving at our border, and ask what is.
So this is Kamala Harris's tell. Anytime that she's asked a difficult question, anytime that she might be lying about something, anytime that she feels like she's under pressure about something, she always goes to that high cackle laughter, and where she's not really taking anything seriously. And unfortunately, with our media, they don't ask her a lot of tough questions. So when they do their job and they do ask a tough question, this is the reaction that you get out of her. We're going to go back into it.
Reason, and then identify the problem so we can fix it.
What do you tell a Guatemalan family who heard you say don't come, but you know, they're facing the end. There's poverty, there's disease, all these things happening at once. You tell them don't come?
We don't want, listen, I don't think that Americans want people to be exposed to harm if they can avoid it. They're taking
100% agree
from the place that they know that they want to stay. So I'm here in Guatemala to say,
and if it's under the asylum, if they're seeking asylum, especially from these countries that are south of Mexico, the asylum rules between nations and between countries is that the person fleeing the country needs to seek asylum in the next neighboring country that can take them. That would be Mexico. That wouldn't be come all the way up through Mexico and into the United States. So when you're talking about Guatemala, when you're talking about Honduras, Nicaragua, and all these countries that that people are fleeing from, Venezuela, the next countries would not be the United States to come and seek asylum, which again, I have, you know, so much sympathy for these people that are living in these kind of conditions under the leaderships that they are, that are just failing them. But we as a country cannot just say, okay, well, everybody from that country come here and flood our economy and flood our cities without proper ways of being able to deal with that, which we don't have right now. So what you get is people living on the streets, children not being able to be with their parents because they're being brought over by coyotes, and it does nothing but hurt these people further by doing the policies that the Democrats are trying to push.
What can we do to support people and to give them a sense of hope that help is on the way?
The administration looking to inject billions of dollars in aid to this region to help reduce that migrant surge.
So again, dumping money into poor leadership in countries, that's not going to fix the problem. And I'm not one that says that, oh, we need to go in and change every country into a democracy and change it and make it like the United States is. But these people have to understand that they are in charge of their countries. And if you have a dictator that is pushing stuff, then they're going to have to go through some sort of revolution and actually fight back against the leadership that they're failing under. I mean, just dumping billions of dollars into a country that isn't going to manage that money well is not going to help anything. And all it is going to do is put a tax burden on the American people. And it's not helping anybody.
In April, nearly 180,000 migrants were apprehended by U.S. Border Patrol, the highest number in 20 years. And more unaccompanied migrant children come from Guatemala than anywhere else.
Over 16,000 unaccompanied children tonight in custody. What's victory look like in this, or what does improvement look like?
Yeah, no, that's a great point. And I would suggest to you that we have seen progress already. When we have 12 of
How have we seen progress when it's been the worst that it has been? What are you seeing as progress? She doesn't answer any questions. All she does is make vague statements that don't address any of the real issues that are going on.
the biggest corporations of America who have, I convene them in my office and they have agreed to help us work on this issue. Success so far is the bringing together of community-based organizations, not only in the United States, but here in Guatemala. Today, that was one of my meetings with civil society leaders, to let them know we see them and we understand their concerns about corruption, and we also understand their role of leadership to help us in terms of how we prioritize our work in this region.
So how quickly does this change what we see at the border?
I don't know that we're going to see it. Listen, I've been very clear from the beginning. There's not going to be a quick fix. So we've seen progress, but the real work is going to take
progress
time
have we
to
seen?
manifest itself. Will it be worth it? Yes. Will it take some time? Yes.
There's one other topic I wanted to talk to you about, but let me just quickly put a button.
Okay.
Do you have
Okay, so this is where he goes into the hard-hitting question that stumps her, that she has no answer for. So here we go.
any plans to visit the border?
I'm here in Guatemala today. At some point,
So Guatemala is not the border.
we are going to the border. We've been to the border. So this whole
Okay, she says, we have been to the border. We are going to the border. When?
this whole thing about the border.
Here comes her laugh.
Border. We've been to the border.
You haven't been to the border.
And I haven't been to Europe. And I mean, I don't understand the point that you're.
Okay, so this is the point that people are trying to throw out there. He says, you haven't been to the border. You were put in charge of fixing this crisis that you're saying that the previous administration caused. You have not been to the border to see and put your eyes on what has been going on down there. This is the point, Kamala. This is the point. Ready? You have got to go down in order to be able to fix it. You have got to lay your eyes and see what is going on in order to be able to understand what needs to be fixed. But she just laughs it off and says, well, I haven't been to Europe either. As if that's gonna, what is even the point that she's trying to make with that? She hasn't been to Europe. We don't have a problem with Europe and illegal immigration from Europe. We have a problem at our southern border right now. We have thousands of children without parents at the southern border. We have thousands of people coming in illegally. That is the problem. So you saying, oh, I haven't been, I don't understand what you're trying to say. The point is that you are put in charge. You need to be down there to try to fix it. And again, anytime that she's put under pressure, anytime that she is lying about something or she's just trying to brush something off, this stupid freaking cackle that she has comes out.
You're making. I'm not discounting the importance of the border.
Well, I mentioned it because even I know Republicans have certainly come at you on this, but Democratic Congressman Cuellar as a border district, has said to you and the president.
So that's the other thing about this. They're trying to frame it as, well, Republicans have a problem with it. There are some Democrats that also have a problem with her not going to the border and seeing what's going on. But during the previous administration, all we heard was people complaining and saying, oh, well, they're putting kids in cages, this and that, this and that. And you would have Democrats going down to the border like crazy, taking photo ops and trying to score political points and say, look how bad it is down here, and it's all the Trump's administration's fault. Where are all those Democrats now? Things are much worse right now. Where are all the Democrats going down and saying this has got to stop? It's all about political points with these people. That's all it is. They do not care about all the people that are coming into this country. They don't care about whether or not these people are coming in through coyotes and just dropped off, all these children that are dropped off. They don't care about them. All they care is about securing their political power that they have established and that they're trying to gain more of. That's all these people care about.
President, come. You need to see this.
Listen, I care about what's happening at the border.
No, she doesn't.
I'm in Guatemala because my focus is dealing with the root causes of migration. There may be.
Okay, so it was dramatically decreased when Trump made the remain in Mexico policy. The amount of people coming over and across our border was dramatically decreased. It's not just, the country itself that they're fleeing from that's the root cause. The root cause is the rhetoric. The root cause is the openness to allow illegal immigration into our country and to let it go unchecked without any repercussions. And it's the policies that they're putting in place.
Some who think that is not important. But it is my firm belief
it's just as important.
That if we care about what's happening at the border, we better care about the root causes and address them. And so that's what I'm doing.
But you don't.
It's not the only tough issue President Biden has handed his vice president. Also recently asking her to oversee the effort to pass the Democrats' new voting bill. But a blow this weekend.
That goes into a little bit more. That's kind of a different subject. So we're kind of off the whole border and immigration. So I just wanted to get on here. She says a lot of stupid stuff, and I think that's mostly why the Biden administration and Joe Biden himself, because Joe Biden is also just as bad whenever it comes to the media and talking to the media. They don't let them address the media as often as we got with Trump, and it's really a kind of a sad thing to see the media and how it favors the Democratic Party. They don't ask them tough questions. If they do ask them a tough question, there's no follow-up to anything that they say. So, I just wanted to get on here and kind of address and kind of show y'all, what this person is saying and, whether or not she actually does care. Because, me being from Texas, I truly believe that, immigrants, that they help the country so much. I mean, this country was founded on immigrants, but it has to be a legal immigration. It can't just be, free for all, open borders, come in whenever you want, leave whenever you want. It doesn't establish a country. And if you look at any other country around the world, people will say, well, having a wall is racist and all this other nonsense. If you look at any other country, they don't have, well, number one, they don't have the sort of issues that we have here in the United States with people trying to come in mass numbers. But you also see, if you look at other countries, that they enforce their borders, and they enforce their borders for a reason. It's because each country has its own set of values, its own set of rules, its own laws. And in order to be able to maintain and uphold those laws, it has to be defined through a border that this is the country. And if you're in this country, you're going to obey and follow these laws. And right now, with the way that the Democrats are pushing things, they're trying to get rid of that. They're trying to get rid of America. They're trying to get rid of the, the values and the laws that we have. That way it can just be open season for, you know, whoever and whatever wants to come in. So if you enjoyed this video, you know, leave a like, thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell. We'll see you on the next one. So y'all take it easy and be safe.